So it sounds like you had a very interesting way of getting into the industry, you know, especially the local industry, since it's so small. Like, what
Yeah.
advice would you give for someone in the South African industry or trying to get into the industry in a South African context? What advice would you give them so they get into the industry? Because your path is very expansive, and it seems like you've worked in film, you've worked in animation, and you've worked in video
Yeah.
games.
Um, well, I think on the local side, I think nowadays with the internet and everything that's available, I will firstly start with that, right? Like I'm thinking if somebody is leaving college or they want to get into college, I think now there's a lot of school, like Vets has a really good game design program there. Vega, there's a lot of schools now that have game design. Um, I think for that, I think you a lot of people are all set. But if let's say you just finished college and you now want to get into video games and maybe you did game design or you did art, you did animation, whatever it is, and you're like, okay, cool, I need to get a job or at least I need to start getting into these spaces. Firstly, just I would say, do you make sure that your work is good? In the context of game designer, have an each page that has a bunch of games, right? They might not be like AAA games, or they might not be like the best games out there, but just have each page that has games that you made and games that you like. It also just gives an insight on the kind of person you are. For artists, your portfolio needs to be good, of course, and also portfolios I think now are also changing as well. Like portfolios in my time are now different. Like now, we don't even care that much about key art. Like we just care about the process. We need to see call outs. We need to see all of these sheets, all the information, a little bit of the law, what you're doing. If you're gonna design a sword, at least just highlight out materials, all of those things, just so that 3D artists have enough information to kind of model off of that. So nowadays, context, I think I even saw a post where they're like, if you're drawing an environment, for like let's say quote unquote a game, do the call outs, do the material thing, but also you can also when you're designing it show alternative paths through that space. You can even have section where there's like some grass for stealth opportunities, all of that stuff, right? It sounds crazy, but like, you need stuff like that in your portfolio as a concept artist, so that like studios can see that okay, this person is doing concept art and the concept art is good, but also they understand, yeah, and more than anything else, their work will help the 3D artist and environment artist do a better job and also just get enough information. So yeah, the stuff doesn't have to be the prettiest work ever, but it needs to have enough information, but also be designed well, right? Like the design is still there, but it doesn't have to be neatly rendered. It could just even be line work, some color there, and then as long as the design is good and there's enough information and call out, then I think your work will start to look unique and different.
And that's very important. Just to add like little 2 cents here, it shows that
Yeah.
you understand production needs. Like, you are going to be a concept artist, sharp, show concept work. Nobody's saying you
Yeah.
can't do like a key art and whatnot, but show that you understand what concept work is and what concept stands for, and if it can,
Yes.
flow down the pipeline. Because even
Yeah.
in 3D, similar thing. Are
Yeah.
you showing your UVs? Are you showing your model? Are you showing your sculpt? Are you showing your textures? Do you understand what's
Topology as well.
yeah? Do you understand everything that is needed in the pipeline? You can have a
Yeah.
pretty sculpt, but it's not gonna do anyone any good, especially a recruiter, if they can't see that you can work within the pipeline.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, you hit the nail on the head. I think like as me coming from the concept background and you on a 3D side, there is that conversation, right? Like you understand what you need, and I also know what what's needed. Looking at it as a art director in that perspective as well, I yeah, like I need to see work that I know would definitely looks like production work. It's not just um, artwork that you just make for yourself. I mean that is that is also cool as well, but I also just want to add in something, because what I just told you right now is straight and forward. I would say the technical and the needs and the essential stuff about it, but I think also, uh, I'm not saying that you shouldn't do artwork for the fun of it, because I think there is that thing where people can be very cynical, and I think maybe this is me being crazy. This is me adding my, I guess, my the me in it. Um, just like I know all of those things are really needed and they're important, but I feel like also as an artist, you need to enjoy doing your work. Like I think it's just it's it's useless to do all those things and you're not enjoying your work a little bit. It's like a treat for yourself, right? Like, so do those illustrations when you have the time to do those illustrations. Like, sometimes draw for the sake of drawing. You don't have to draw for the sake of creating an IP. You don't have to draw for the sake of trying to make a portfolio piece. Leave portfolio work to be portfolio work, and leave your artwork to be your artwork as well. Because I think also we have to kind of, as artists, sometimes push back a little bit in some regards on other things. Be like, I will do the work, but also I'm also a human being, and this is my weird, strange experiment work that I usually do on the side. Sometimes, not saying all the time, but sometimes, you know, some people are hired because of that. They're gonna see a series of these weird illustrations. They're not like, of course, informative like concept artwork, but because you draw these weird, cute creatures, let's just say, and they've got these weird, nice textures, and they look all adorable and stuff. And one art director one day is gonna put that into their Pinterest board, and he's gonna say, "Who did this artwork?" Because yeah. So sometimes I feel like also, just be an artist, so that some in some regards, one day somebody can hire you because they like the work that you do. Not necessarily that you can, like, technically, like, do all those other things or those other cool things. Of course, like, be good at both of them, but do your thing. Like, who cares, right? Like, it has to be something. It has to have soul, right? Like, your stuff needs to have soul. Yeah, you need to kind of, yes, yeah. So have the needs part sorted out. This is what I need for my portfolio, and this is what I need for. This is what I want to do as, like, just your artwork, the stuff that speaks to you. I think we need to also just do that as well. Um, Someone's artwork that's weird and has a weird style can be an art direction of a whole game, and that game can sell millions. Like, it's just weird, but it happens. I just also want to just add the human element in it as well. Do all of those, but also, yeah, you human too. Do the stuff that speaks to you as well.